6ix9ine's a genius. I give him that. The boy's a genius. Is his music the best? No. We all know that.
He's a marketing genius.
Right, he's a marketing genius, and you got to give them credit for that. Is that, some people are just businessmen, bro, and they make it work, and you got to respect that.
What's happening, guys? Welcome to the first episode in the new studio. Joined by an amazing guest, hip-hop producer, songwriter, rapper, Chad the Don. Bro, how you doing?
What's up, my brother? Thank you for having me, man. I feel blessed to be the first one doing the interview at the new studio. It's amazing. Congratulations to you, bro.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that. And thank you for driving out from Centurion.
Yeah, man.
I know it took longer than what you're expecting.
not
but
too bad,
that's what happens when you drive on these Joburg highways, bro.
You know what it is, bro. It's just cool to be out here hanging with you, and talking music, talking life, and what can we say? We're blessed, bro.
Can you just move that mic just a bit closer?
There we go.
Perfect, bro. Thank you. So this episode is sponsored by Nutricon. If you want to save 20% off, just use the code Jester1 on the Nutricon website and you can save 20% off. Once again, Jester1 on the Nutricon website. So 2016, your debut album, Life of Chad.
Booker Chad.
Booker Chad, sorry.
Booker Chad was that was a very good album. Created the whole fan base for me. My first single that I ever dropped was Holla featuring Casper, and that just blew up. The first song that I'd ever done,
How do you get Casper? Was this 2016, 2015? When was this?
This was 2015 when I started working, taking music seriously, and Anati, who, Beyonce just won a Grammy for the song he produced for her on the Lion King thing. It's huge. So he is a very good friend of mine from grade 2. We went to school together and grew up together, and he's always just been a talented producer. At 13, I saw him make mad money from production at 13. He's just been like crazy with it. And I hit him up. I said, you know what? I'm done with the soccer thing. I played South African soccer. We won the World Cup overseas. I really want to take the rapping thing seriously, and met up with Anati. He produced about 5 to 6 songs for me, and we put a little project together. And the first song I dropped, I was in studio with a guy called George Avakin. I still remember playing him my music, and he was like, have you ever met Casper? And I was like, no, I haven't met Casper. Casper walked in the studio, he heard my song, and he was like, damn, bro, this is crazy. This is you, And I was like, yeah. And he jumped on the song, and we dropped it. Long story short, I was famous just like that, off of my craft. So that I was blessed for. I had so much more to learn about and so much more to do in music. So there was a lot on me, expectation-wise, from people as everything just blew up, But it's part of growth. It's part of learning. And then obviously to follow that, the Book of Chad came out. Did very well. I had features like Nasty C, Anati, so many big names on that album that was a defining moment for me. I told the story about my life, my dad holding us hostage, all the things I've seen, and I felt like I had to tell people this is my story. So that's why it's the Book of Chad. Yeah.
So, you said you played professional soccer, and then you decided, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to obviously go into a more music career.
Yeah.
What made you decide, okay, because if you're playing professional, you're doing well in soccer.
Yeah.
So it's not like you didn't cut it and then you decided to do music?
Yeah, you know what? That's a personal thing which I have no problem with speaking about. I think that it's a problem that goes on today with a lot of people, is that parents try to make kids live their dream, that they didn't achieve. And my father, he was a great soccer player. He made me play soccer from 6 years old. I was extremely talented. It was a gift also, that gift was in me, but he made me hate the game, sad to say, and unfortunately I lost the love. Waking up every day. I went to Tuck Sports School in Pretoria, where we'd wake up at 5 till 9 or till 8 o'clock. You train soccer from 5 in the morning. You go to school, back to soccer at 3. You know what I mean? Every day of my life, I dedicated my life to soccer, and I just got tired of it. And he held us hostage, and there was a case against him. long story short, that we dropped, charges against my mom and what he had done to us, abuse-wise, holding us hostage the whole night. It says a little bit much, it says enough to you when I say that that's why I went away. Nobody will understand that it's like nothing will be good enough for a person like that. You could do well and I could have South African colors, but it still wouldn't be good enough for him. His mind was like, yo, you need to understand that I'm trying to push you to be better and better the whole time, but it's like there's a certain point where you need to stop, because you're going to make me really not like this thing anymore. And that's what he did, unfortunately. And I played golf to try break away from soccer. I got to a scratch golfer in 2 years. Another talent that, I still till this day, golf is my favorite. I need to play golf just to clear my mind. You know what I mean? Took it very seriously, had professional coaching, and rap was always there through the struggles of my life since 8 years old. I just never took it seriously as a career, although I knew that it was in me to jump on stage and just, rap. That's all I wanted to do. And one day there was a church conference that I said they needed performers. So who's ever willing to, do a rap song and everything. I went to do a rap song and a video, performed to 7,000 people at a church. And I was like, wow, everybody went crazy. And I was like, this is really for me. And then I took it seriously. Like I said, met up with Anati and I told him this is what I want to do. And we dropped the first song and the rest is history. From there, I've just never stopped.
And, obviously, we're talking about a little bit before is, hip-hop, rap, it's a very cultural thing around the world. And it's not really a white person thing to do. Obviously, you have your breakaway people that do it and have done well. Yourself, obviously, Eminem was probably the biggest white guy, to do seriously well in hip-hop and rap. So,
for sure.
With Unati, did he give you advice saying, like, okay, going into this, bro, like, I think you should address it this way?
You know what? Shout out to Unati because people won't know that the relationship I have with him, he's always looked out for me in the way of like, he knows what I've needed to achieve and what I've wanted to achieve and how to do that. And he sat me down and he was like, you play soccer, bro. You're always speaking Tswana and slang languages, and that's why we love you, because you just, you learn things so quickly and it's so natural to you. What you got to do is capture the masses by being you. And if you want to be you, what are you going to do? And I started writing, Tswana bars, just easy stuff like I'm myself. And that was the biggest advice he gave me. He's like, let's keep it South African. That's who you are. Let's keep it you. Let's show people that, there's somebody from here that can represent us, I'm not trying to be American. I'm not trying to be South African. This is Chad. This is where I'm from. And when you sit with me, you relate to that Chad because he's not fake. He's not trying to portray a message that's not real when you talk to him. You feel me? And that's where musicians get it wrong and their music doesn't gel with what they're putting out and their brand, because you're talking about guns, but like, we know if we see you face to face, you're never going to pull out a gun, bro. So how are we going to believe you? You know what I mean? The story is important. The narrative, everything needs to be right. And there's more to just writing a dope verse down on a paper, bro. There's so many things that go into this thing which people don't understand.
And that's exactly what you showed with the Book of Chad. It's
Correct.
The story of your life.
Correct, yeah. There was a lot of songs on there. I think it was 21, 22 tracks, which was the critique of people that like, listen, there was just a lot of songs there, but like I make about 10 songs a week. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so what do you expect from somebody whose work rate is different to another person? You know what I'm saying? I've learned that, like, look, quality over quantity in the years is better for me. You know what I'm saying? So rather just drop a project with 10 than 20 songs, because people these days, you could drop a hit song today and I mean, in a month's time, it's done. We want something new. That's the era that we're living in. Whereas before, I mean, one song would take months before you could drop another song. I remember my first single, I couldn't drop anything for the first 8 months because the hype was so big around that song. We had to push it everywhere we could before we lost people's attention. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And how did you go about finding the right person to guide you on this? How did you go around, finding a person that has your best interests at heart and your brand's best interests in heart, and obviously, growing that?
Listen, it's tricky. The music business is ugly. You know what I'm saying? I was just fortunate enough. I believe in God, man. I believe God makes a way for me. God, because I pray, he leads the right people to me that I need. It's always just worked this way for me. And that's how you know if something's meant for you. I always tell somebody that if things fall into place, obviously you still have to go hustle. But if things are falling into place because of your hustle, then you know that thing is for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're having struggling and hard times and you're forcing it, it's not for you. And that was my way of looking at the music. I was going to make a song. Casper jumped on it. And I was going to give myself about 3 songs to see if this music thing is really for me, because I knew it was a talent, but like, God, show me, is this what you want me to do, type of thing, because I've got South African colors with soccer, I'm scratched with golf, I'm getting confused now, you know what I mean? Like, I really love rap, but is it for me? I don't want to make mistakes anymore. And I really wanted to do this. And I think he answered me by saying the first song that just went, he sent the right people. I mean, he sent me to Georgia Vacant through Anati, who is my best friend. Anati knew George. So Anati took me to George's studio for a session. How's that? Played in my music. George is like, oh, you want to get into music? I know so-and-so who you can go to put your music out. Went for a meeting with so-and-so, and then everything just unfolded, you know, just like that. So it's kind of crazy how I look back. It could only be God. It couldn't be anything else. Even though I put the work in, you know, he's just made way for me in everything I do. So.
And how have you found, you know, being religious and, you know, believing in God in like the music industry, in an industry that's obviously more money driven and success driven, whereas obviously, you know, people, you know, or Christians, people that believe in a God think like, you know what, don't put something above your God. Don't put money and success above your God.
I have a very big problem with people pushing a lot of people away from God because of the way that they act, which is the exact opposite of what our God is. You know, I know a God that's loving. I know a God that wants the best for you. I know a God that's not judgmental, that says everything in moderation. You know, I mean, I smoke weed to make my music, and I smoke weed being a Christian boy who I am. You know what I'm saying? But now the average person will look down on you and say, because you smoke weed, who says you're a Christian? Who says you're a Christian because you're judging me?
Exactly.
Do you feel what I'm saying? I know that I inspire. Pierre Spies right now is my mentor. The SA rugby captain, you know, I'm sure people that hear that name will know exactly who I'm talking about, but he's a mentor, my mentor, the person that I listen to, you know, and the only reason why he's actually being a pastor in the church from playing rugby, it was his calling to leave to go to God. But such a man who doesn't judge you, who has never made me feel, you know, I've told him that like, yo, weed, I actually need weed to calm down. Like, I can't function with this, and this thing is from God, you know. Instead of judging me or pushing me away from God, he loves on me. He loves the character that Chad is. And I think we're too focused on what the other person is doing, thinking we're better than them. Instead of like, look at yourself and just focus on yourself. You're too focused about what they're doing. And who says you're right? That's my thing. If you're a Christian and you say I can't smoke weed, who says you're right? Do you know what I'm saying? There's nowhere in the Bible that ever spoke of it. The Bible spoke about moderation with things, which I totally do agree with.
And I mean, in God's eyes, every sin's the same. So we can't be putting our human eyes on things.
But let's do this. Let's say a Coca-Cola that you buy from the shop, right, is doing more damage to your body than weed is doing. Like, proven fact. Do you know what I'm saying? The stuff that they're selling in stores and you're putting in your body, and this is a natural product, but you're going to judge me on it and say that God says so, and so. So I don't get into the spiritual side of it. You know, I have brought people that are totally against God and the biggest devils to God by not judging them and just being myself. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've been in the place myself where God has touched me. And that's from me being on the exact same tip I am to you now, just Chad. You know what I mean? Myself, being myself. He loves you for who you are. And I think we play the spiritual game and this Bible bashing game, and it's gotten to the point where as you hear church or you hear God, people are turned off. You know, they put off. Yeah. They just close up. And this is a big problem for me because it's like where I go to, I'm inspired by CRC church, you know. There's no judgment there. I don't feel judged. But I think we're going to have a big problem for a long time with people taking the Bible and switching it around and bashing and doing the exact opposite of what we're supposed to do. So I'd say I'm more spiritual and I have a relationship with God. And that's what I'd say. I don't try preach to you. I don't do anything, but what I try to do is motivate you. That you could say when I leave that like, yo, this dude's energy is different, you know. I like that. I felt better when he left. I didn't feel worse. You know what I mean? Like, oh, why did I do that interview? More like, yo, damn, that was one of my best interviews ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what God is. God's the best, and he's the most chilled, cool person, because, you know, I know him personally. So that's why it angers me to see people with their judgmental ways, and you're just pushing people away, bro. I've got a job to do. I've got tattoos all over. You know what I'm saying? And what do you think in the next 20 years is going to happen? Do you think people want to listen to people without tattoos, or are they going to listen to the guy with tattoos?
Who they can relate to.
That they can relate to. Do you know what I'm saying? Because this man has faced a lot of things in his life, and I can feel what he's talking about. I'm not trying to judge them. Right now, we're living in a broken world, bro. I mean, you know. But I ain't trying to get all deep and stuff like that.
No, that's fine.
I'm here to have a good time and not get too, because I have a passion when I talk about God, bro. Because, you know, I know people are so deceived, and I know people are too judgmental, and everything is supposed to just be about happiness, bro, positivity and love. That's all God is. Just spread that. And if you can do that, we nice.
Yeah, I think that's just, it's human nature to always remember the worst parts about people.
Of
like
course.
if they think about Muslims, they say all Muslims are terrorists, because they think about the worst thing about extremists. You know, then people can also say that about Christianity, where people will say all Christians do is judge. All they do is make me feel bad for things I'm doing wrong, and they feel they're better than me. You know, there's certain people from all branches of religion, all branches of, you know, races, everything, that do things that isn't as, no, it's a generalization. Just because a bunch of people do something doesn't mean that everyone does it. Just because there's a few Christians that judge people,
of course,
it doesn't mean all Christians judge people. And I think that's the biggest thing that, you know, maybe non-Christians think is, if people know I'm not a Christian, they're just going to judge me. If I go to church, I'm going to be judged.
You see, and that's the truth, is that, like, but here's my problem with that, is the chance to capture them and actually get them to see that, like, God isn't the picture that people are portraying is very tough when you have more people like that are in the church pushing people away from the church than outside being an example to make people want to come to a good place. Because, you know, my whole thing is my life changed when I went there. You know, I can testify many people in my life who have seen blessings and just like their whole life switch from that place. You know what I mean? From worshiping God. And am I saying that you can't get blessed if you don't go to church? No, I'm just saying that it's dope that if you do have that type of relationship, that and respect, that I want to go there to thank him for all I have in my life, you know, because I know how much he loves me, and I know what a plan he's got for me. I mean, it was about 3 years ago or 2 years ago, I was in a very bad accident right here in Lanseria airport. On that road, there's a road that says turn right to 4 ways. I turn right, I go that way everywhere. I was actually on my way to Lockenville for a studio session on a Sunday night, and I just, like, there's a T-junction at the end of that road, and I don't know, I didn't stop. And I don't know how, because, you know, I don't drink and drive. It was just something weird that night, and also made me realize the spiritual world is real, because I rolled 5 times and right off my tour bus, you know what I mean? Just got it, like 3 months, gone.
Jeez, how many seaters was this?
It was, I think it was 12.
And you were by yourself, eh?
Yeah, I was by myself on my way to the boys. They were recording, and it was a Sunday night, and they're like, yo, you have to come through, you know? They were recording at their spot, and they were like, you have to come through. And I was like, let me just go. 12 o'clock on a Sunday, that's what we do, that's our life. Let me go make a song. And on the way there, that happened, you know? But looking at the car and looking at the circumstances, I shouldn't be here today, you know what I mean? So I've seen it time and time again when I should have been gone, and that's purpose. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to, you know, still do what I have to do. Yeah. And his protection is on me.
No, definitely. And you mentioned Lockenville.
Yes.
And so how did it start with them? Were they your original... Was it their label you were signed to? Or?
Well, how this all happened was I was still in school when the boys blew up, when they caught that first wave with that guy at the sun.
Were you in school with them?
No. I was in school when I heard about them, and everybody was just going mad for Lockenville, you know? And they used to have these under 18s parties, and I went to one in Centurion at recess one night, and they were performing. I just told all my friends, I'm going to work with those guys. You're going to see. I'm going to, like, make a song with them. Everybody laughed. Everybody made fun of me. You know, today, those people message me like, yo, what's up? How do we, like that, you know, bro. What I mean? Yeah. It's the funniest thing ever, but it's like, I just knew when I heard their music, and I was like, one day I'm going to do a song with them. So my publisher at the time, John Fishlock, was like, I told him, I'm like, yo, do you know Lockenville by any chance? He's like, yeah. I was like, it's my dream to make a song with the boys, you know? And he put us into contact, and literally just like that, bro, like I say, everything just went, you know what I mean? Still till this day, when something feels forced to me, I know it's wrong. You know, I know that I'm like, when I'm doing too much and it's not going, like it's not meant, I got to let go, you know? And I think that goes for relationships, everything. If you're going to force it, you know, the person that's meant for you, you don't have to force.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Anything in life, you still have to put the work in, but it will just flow. If it's for you, it will flow. And if it's not flowing, there's something wrong.
And do you ever have that with like creating music where you just keep trying, and you're just like, actually, this is not going to work?
You know, the funny thing is I'm at a point where, look, it's been 8 years for me. This is the 8th year in the game. You know, I've gotten to a place where if I'm forcing things, I just leave it. I leave it alone. So I do songs very quickly. I mean, an hour I want to be done of writing and recording, because when I get in there, it's like a certain zone I get into, and I want to stay in that zone and get it done. That's me. Like I don't waste time, you know. But the moment I feel like, yo, I'm thinking hard and stuff, I just got to have the discipline to walk away. It took a long time to get there, but I just walk away from it now, because music's not supposed to be forced, bro.
Yeah.
You know, everything in life is not supposed to be forced.
And you say you always record in the evening?
Yeah, I mean, look, if now and then there's some things I have to do the day, I have to get it done, you know what I mean? But my favorite is night, late at night, you know, where everybody sleeps. That's where I find the best motivation, and I feel the best to record, yeah.
I think in life, when you know you are working harder than other people, and you know, I'm doing this because I want to, you know, I want to create something, I want to entertain, I want to build something to be proud of.
Yeah.
You know, it's more motivating knowing I'm doing this while everyone else is chilling, while everyone else is sleeping.
Of course. Somebody once said to me, he was a producer of mine in the beginning days, you know, he was like, dude, just know while you sit here, and when we stop making music, there's somebody else doing more than you. So do you want to win, or do you want to get beaten? Like, you know what I mean? What you pick, bro? You pick. And ever since that day, naturally, I've had just a good work rate, you know, like a crazy work rate that like I just can't stop working. I'm a workaholic. But with music, bro, it's become fun. It's become really fun. I really enjoy the process of making music and like sitting down and doing what I do, because it's a gift. It really is.
I think at the end of the day, you know, it is something that you love doing, and that's why you do it. You know, you're a professional soccer player, scratch golfer. You know, if you look at those things, people will be like, I don't care if I hate every day. I would, you know, even though I hate it, I would love to be a professional soccer player. Even if I hated it, I would love to be, you know, in that position. Whereas you were in that position, you're like, actually, no, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I'm going to move over to music. And that actually just shows that, you know, yes, you are talented at music, but because you love it and you enjoy it, you're actually more successful.
Of course. And also, yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. I think that's golf I'd have the same love for, though. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, you still see me playing golf one day after music. You know what I
How
mean?
often do you play golf?
I go to the driving range often, at least like once a week, you know, but a game I haven't played in a while. I know that like it's my birthday coming up soon, so that's what I'll be doing. I organized golf with Pierre Spies and my old golf coach yesterday. My golf coach has also been playing on the tour. He's won tournaments and stuff. So I need to play where it's competitive, like where I feel like I'm in a tournament. That's just me, you know what I mean? So everything is challenging to me, even though I have fun, but like it needs to be a challenge. So I'm going to still be playing golf, and lots of golf. Golf, there's no age limit, which is dope, you know what I mean? I love that about it, and I love that, like, you know, you could just, make so much money out of the game for such a long time. That's such a blessing, because people don't get that in sport. I mean, look at soccer. When you're done, you know?
Especially in South Africa.
In South Africa, that's correct. But overseas, I mean, you set out differently. I mean, the Ronaldos and the boys that are getting that money, it's sick money. But once again, you can't choose money over your happiness and your destiny. You need to know what it's for. Don't get me wrong when I say there's been lots of times with music that I've just wanted to call it, bro, because I'm so competitive. And the day I got to the place where I realized it's a journey, you know, and I accept it, and like I'm at peace with who I am, don't need to go searching for more than what you are, bro. Accept who you are, be who you are, and be proud of that too, you know?
I think being in such a competitive industry, it doesn't actually, at the end of the day, matter how good you are. Because you're in such a competitive industry, you need to be one-upping yourself each time.
There we go.
And you say you're obviously very competitive. Are you competitive with yourself in terms of, my first song, I released a song with Casper. I need to one-up that. I need to do better than that.
That's why I've gone through depression. I mean, I've gone through bad depression in music because of just who I am. I need things done now, and I expect those things to come to me, and I'll do whatever it takes to get those things. You know what I mean? But I think that also comes with maturity. Over the years, I've matured into a man that understands how those things work. The young me was different to now. You know what I mean? Still young, but I'm saying this, the one that still had so much growing to do. When I dropped my first song at 20 years old, I mean, you know what I mean? To now, me turning 28 and knowing who I am, mastered my craft. This is what I've done, you know? It can only go up from here. And the impact I've had on people in music, I mean, breaking barriers, being famous off the first single I dropped, and seeing the whole of almost South Africa, you know what I mean, every weekend of my life, just touring with the biggest artists and doing this thing is, I got so much more to do, bro, and so much more goals that I'm going to achieve. And I'm working on a new EP right now that I'm dropping this year. Got 8 tracks on it so far. I'm thinking of keeping it there because once I don't stop, I'll never stop. I'll just go to 10 and then 12, you know? So I've got to call it at 8. But I dropped my latest single with Muggs and MT last week, Envy. It's going incredible. Shout out to DJ Dimples too for being on the song. We've shot the video for that too, so that's coming out soon. And then to the fans, man, for always backing me up and just being here through the whole journey. You know, it's been incredible. Yesterday I checked my Facebook and we're on 240,000 now, growing strong. You know, so by the end of the year, I'm sure it's going to be a mill. It's crazy. It's just moving and organically, you know. That's what's beautiful about it.
I think that's when when your work speaks for itself, then you start to grow
there
organically.
We go.
Yeah,
there we go. But you know, I've been fortunate enough, like I said, from my first song, just to speak for me, and that's a blessing in itself. But music is a tough game. It's not easy, you know. For any musicians out there, just know that it's gonna take a while, you know, and don't give up.
How do you go about choosing an artist to collab with? Like, how do you, go for someone that's different to you? It's going to reach a new market, but it's also not going to do negative to your brand. How do you go about selecting
I've always
that
had
individual?
just a very, very, very good ear for that. You know, like you either have an ear for hearing things or you don't. And since day one, I've always just heard somebody's voice on a song. I would hear them on their own songs and then do my song and then like play their song and hear like they'll be perfect for the song. And then, I mean, I have relationships with all the people I've done songs with, like very good relationships. Lockenville, Casper. Okay, well, that's not a good relationship, but I mean, me and Casper don't really speak right now. But I have fairly good relationships with people that, like, I work with. And that makes it easier too, is I keep it small, basically to very close friends. Youngster, Lockenville, MT. I hear the song before I make it, though, that this is what I'm trying to do, kind of thing. I envision it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when I deliver it, it just comes out that way. Send it to them, they wrap it up.
And have you watched Atlanta with Childish Gambino, Donald Glover?
No.
Okay. So there's a scene where he's basically, it's a story of his life almost, but he's from a manager's perspective.
Uh-huh.
And he goes, and there's a rapper there called Paperboy. It's based in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he's trying to get Paperboy on the radio.
Okay.
To get him featured on the radio. So he goes, he sneaks into the station, he slips the doorman some money, tries to get in, then he slides, the CD under the door. Then the guy sees it. And there's like 5,000 Rand or $5,000 on the CD. The guy's like, okay, sweet, here's my money, let me play it. In South Africa, how do you get on the radio? Is it obviously just the host of the station, the DJs likes your stuff?
The last song I dropped, Envy, Like now, you know, I'm at the point where I'm an established brand, and I'm fortunate enough that they play my song sometimes without me submitting it. You know, if the song's big enough, trust me, they'll play it. But you still got to go through radio pluggers that are very well connected to radio. Luckily, if you're working with a label, you know, they can help you with that. But you have to pay for radio plugging. Somebody who does that as a job, you know, to give every station manager your song and follow up with them to say, listen, is it playing? If it plays, you need to also register your song so that if it plays, we know it's playing. There's so much that goes into it. But yeah, definitely paying for plugging is the good thing, because you know that somebody who's professional and does this for a living is taking care of your work and giving you the best chance for your song to play everywhere and as on many stations as possible. Because look, I used to in the beginning think that it's not huge, that it's if it's not on the big stations, and bro, like that's so deceiving. If your songs are playing on all those other stations, that's such good money for you, you know. So you got to look at everyone.
And your market, how did you establish your market? Obviously, you know, playing soccer, seeing the cultures within soccer, is that how you maybe saw certain, you know, demographics that you want to market to?
Yeah. I didn't, like I said, bro, I didn't really expect much. I just wanted to be big in music and be famous, you know what I mean? And I loved doing what I did and dropped Holla and used Tswana bars. And it's basically the hood. The hood caught on to me big time, you know. Those are my fans, you know. But I don't want to take away and say there's so much versatility that goes on that, like, also when I work with Lockenville, that's for the urban market. Do you know what I mean? So I'd consider myself everybody. That's where I wanted to get to, especially with this new EP, is that not have anybody in general, just as much people as I can. That if you're a fan, no matter what the skin color, you just listen to the music. You know, that's my thing.
I think that's one thing about, as humans, we can all relate to music. We can all relate to seeing people dance, to you expressing yourself through some sort of audio that you listen to. I think that's one of the most universal things. You know, obviously people in different cultures have different tastes to music. But I think, you know, everybody can relate to certain sounds. And that's one of the things that can help build and grow people and bring them together.
Of course, for sure. I mean, especially in today's time, I don't know if you've heard, but like how rap has changed from back then to now. It's like it keeps on changing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So you've also got to like keep up with the times and basically adapt with the times. It's like the old school people that are like from back in the days. They don't really understand what's going on right now and they fall behind, but that's also just how it's going to be. It's just going to keep going up and things are going to keep changing. You need to make sure that like, yo, even though you're a good songwriter, what's going on at the moment? You know, is this in at the moment? Because the sound is what radio is looking for.
Yeah.
And this is what they're going to play at this tempo right now. You know what I mean? That everything plays a part. You got to look at it from all angles to give yourself the best chance.
And for you as an artist, would you adapt with the times, or would you stay true to what you want to create? Or is it just you just love creating, so it doesn't matter what style it kind of molds into?
Look, always stay yourself. By adapting with the times, I don't mean change your brand or anything like that. I just mean that like if there's some changes that can benefit and you have to compromise just a little bit to get what you need to do you, then you have to do that. You know what I mean? But I've never compromised who I am. Even doing the Lockenville music, my real rap fans thought that I had let them down when I went there, because they're like, what? You're switching to pop, which I find crazy, because it's like I didn't switch to pop. I did rap with Lockenville, just a different sound of music. And I had so many fans. We performed Joburg Day, 30,000 people, like every year. Shout out to them, you know, for taking me on that experience. They took me to shows where I had never been before. And it's like, I don't see it like that, bro. I just find like good music's good music. You know what I mean? And if you like it, I want you to relate to it. And if you don't relate to it, you don't relate to it. I mean, you can't also please everybody. That I've understood. But the goal is to please as many people as we can and to get as many people relating to a song. That's a hit song.
That relatability and that process of writing a song, does it always go back to your life and past experiences or things that you hope to achieve? Like your writing process, is it ever just, you know, writing a song that other people might relate to that you haven't experienced?
For sure, I let it flow. I will say that I've left since the Book of Chad, that deep story. I'm just free right now, trying to make things that are relevant now. The problem, you know what I mean, that we can relate to. It's like with the Empty Mug song, he's talking about that, like in that song, about what's the point of all this religion when there's so much poverty. You know what I mean? And he's like, you either die or adapt in this economy, which is true. We're going through the worst times that we've had as a country, for a while. And I don't think that rappers talk about it in a cool way to bring it up. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to bring up the relevant things. That's what makes you special.
Yeah. And in South Africa, a lot of people just, to get followers, to get clout around their name on social media, they might just be posting their Louis Vuitton bags, posting all of these things. How do you see yourself as a rapper? Because also you don't want to influence people, maybe certain people that don't have a lot of money see you wearing certain things, or see other rappers, carrying this duffel bag, and then they're like, yo, I want that. And then they spend the entire month's salary on those things. Like, how do you do that as a rapper? Because also you need to stay true to the culture. That's and the true. Culture is, well dressed. The culture is fashionable. The culture is, wearing the supreme clothing. Like, how do you the balance?
The balance is not being stupid and living a lifestyle you can't upkeep, because first of all, then we're not going to listen to you if you say you got a Ferrari and we know you don't got a Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? But I'd say try be realistic as possible, and work hard enough to get you the swag that you need.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, because, I'm going to put everything into looking good, because I know that that's like what needs to be done on camera. Everything possible to look good. So that means if I got to work 3 jobs and I'm not successful as a rapper to have that thing, I'm going to do that. But you can't go, that's not common sense, going to floss. And I think that's the problem with today's times, is that we think that's the answer. That's what's going to do it. And it's like, no, because I'll tell you one thing too, internet clout and real fame is a big, big different thing. I keep telling people this. You could be big on the internet and nobody knows you tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to upkeep that. You got to be on TV too, on radio. It's just more than the internet. I mean, you get the people like 6ix9ine who are geniuses, and he's got it just off Instagram and YouTube. That's his thing. Like, yes, you can do that, but how long is that going to last? That's my question.
It's interesting with him, it's because he is such a, out there person that everyone just talks about it and everyone just reposts his stuff. Everyone tweets at him. Like, it's ridiculous how, obviously being this loud, colorful person, how much, attention he has drawn around himself. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if snitching was just a way for him to get more clout.
I tell people that too, is that you would be pleasantly surprised that him and the label have fooled everybody into believing that jail was even real. That's how good they could set everything up to make it look like the judge is even paid to make the labels. You must understand, they control the whole industry, the music industry, bro. The people.
Bro, the music industry probably controls the world.
Exactly.
Because, let's just say, Warner Music, they own everything. There's so many companies that these artists are signed to these labels, but their father companies, let's say, is Disney, and Disney can practically do anything they want, so they can control the narrative of whatever goes on in these people's lives.
I mean, that's what comes on with when you sign that paper. You're signing your soul away if it's not the right deal. And luckily for me, I've always been independent. I mean, signing with Lockenville was a joint project signing, but I've always managed to keep it independent, bro, for that reason, because I have a fear for that thing. Is that what happens if that 100 mil is on the table? Are you going to take it? Are you? Because people always say no. But okay.
But it's 100 mil, bro.
100 mil. Everything that you've always asked for is in front of you. It's not. But the price of your soul, you know what I mean? Is that really what you want to do? I mean, everybody to themselves, I don't want that. I'd like success where I have peace. I don't go to depression. I don't kill myself. I don't lose my mind. But also, don't get me wrong when I say I don't like 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine's a genius. I give him that. The boy's a genius. Is his music the best? No. We all know that.
He's a marketing genius.
Right, he's a marketing genius, and you got to give them credit for that. Is that You know, some people are just businessmen, bro, and they make it work, and you got to respect that. You know, we're not all going to be legends. We're not all going to be Eminem, but there's money to be made. Do you think 6ix9ine's going down like Eminem? No, he's not. But he's going down with as much money as Eminem. Right now, he's got loads of money right now, millions.
You see a video when he got out of prison, he had like 3 weeks of house arrest. And then he gets back and he just bought like 8 new cars.
It's crazy. But like, I mean, the money that the boys are making, I mean, imagine the views, bro.
Yeah.
Imagine those
That's
views.
also the thing. He pretends to have bought those cars so that people talk about him, and then he gets more money because they talk about his music.
Do you think that like they care about like, bro, it's selling a story? Do you think people really, they believe everything you post?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the narrative, is why I'm saying now you really got to see this thing as music's a business. You know, you got to have the plan in order. What is this brand? What are we going to focus on? What are we saying? What is Chad? And what is it? Where does he come from? What is this Chad thing? You understand? And that's why I had to define that by the Twana bars, that's the brand. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The hood white boy coming out, spitting for South Africa, the Rainbow Nation, bringing people together that other people can't bring together through music. You know what I'm saying? So 6ix9ine, shout out to him for that, because it's like, yo, I still believe he's going to do quite a few things before we see him go. He might get himself killed, though, with that mouth of his.
Well, the amount of security he's got around him, I don't know if that's possible.
But I also say that is that, like, yo, it's just if he's caught slipping. Everybody gets caught slipping, bro, if you're not awake. You know what I mean? It just takes one time of him going to the garage alone, just once. You know what I'm saying? So when you're playing with people who live for that lifestyle, just be ready what's going to come. But right now he's got the money to be protected full time. So,
and you yourself, in your business mind, you say you've signed with someone new now.
Okay, so I've got a distribution deal going on with Paradise. My label has got a distribution deal. So basically how Meek did it with Jay-Z, you know what I mean? Like, they help me get what my label needs with my music. And I can also sign other people's songs to my label that I feature on and push it through them. You know what I mean? So they based in Germany, Paradise. Shout out to them. They've just got on board with me for the last project I did, which was late last year. And now this one that's going to be coming up. And I tell you, I can't mention all the songs that are on there, but dude, it's definitely the biggest year of my life. It's definitely the biggest year of my life. I've been waiting for this year for a long time. You know, everything from here, it's like I put all the work in to see everything from here flow. So yeah, it's been a lot of hours, bro. It's been a lot of things, but I'm ready to go. You know, the music that you're going to hear from me, it just gets better and better every time. So yeah.
And do you think that's, obviously it's experience as well, knowing how to do things, but is it also having a helping hand and, you know, the people you meet and the company that you keep? Is that also...
I feel like that's everything, bro. Your team around you is everything. I keep it very small, you know. I don't want to lie, because that's a mistake I made in the past with keeping it, you know, big and just letting everybody be around you. And like, you know, you got to protect your energy and also know that not everybody's on your side, bro. You know, the next rapper doesn't want you to beat him.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? You need
and you yourself, the small clique that you have, is it artists? Is it, you know, maybe not artists, you know, close friends?
Bro, you know what? I just keep it like down to my family, my girl, you know, and family, talking Lockenville being my brothers. Like, if you family to me, you family to me. I keep it very small because people have disappointed me time and time again. You know, I'm at the point where, like, my girl, I've taught her to track everything. So she has learned production, and I can just get in the booth and she'll track me, edit my vocal, put the volumes down. You know what I'm saying? Because before, there was too many complications and people letting me down and just taking you for granted every time, you know. So I'm blessed that I've gotten to a place where I could meet somebody that, like, you know, understands this thing and gives it as much respect to me that I need to do this music thing. I mean, being willing to help me track my whole album and track my album. I'm grateful for her, you know what I mean? Friend wise, I would keep it in music production. I've got a producer, but I keep the relationship very I don't want to say too close that we see each other too much. You know what I mean? Because I've seen what that thing does. A lot of people have that thing where they're always with their producer, but for me, it doesn't work like that. No, I like getting the beat from the producer, putting it on my stuff, and then I'll send him back what I've done. You know what I mean? And then give him the freedom to do his thing and work that way. Because first of all, I don't have the time anymore to chill with everybody how I used to. And second of all, I'm a grown man. You know, just chilling in a studio all day, bro, with your producer, and the fights that come with it from this guy thinking he's entitled to this when you're not. You're sitting in my studio, dude. You're not entitled to anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I've just had like bad fights with producers my whole life because of that thing. But right now, bro, I'm in the best place I've ever been. I keep the relationships that I have very good, and I respect them because they benefit both of us. You know what I mean? And I just want to focus on my music, be away from people. I don't do well with that thing, bro. I don't do well with working people. We always have our differences, and it ends off in a bad way. So I got to a place where it's like, you know, I'm just going to do me, focus on me, and then we don't have those issues.
Yeah.
Keep it close.
Well, you say, you know, you're not trying to be an American rapper. You're not even trying to be a South African rapper. You're trying to be Chad. You know, where did that come from? Was it, you know, just you being so, you know, strong and independent and, you know, just wanting to be yourself? Or was it, you know, maybe you saw someone that you looked up to and you're like, that's motivational, but that's, you know, I'm going to take a little bit from them, a little bit from them, a little bit from them.
That's exactly what I did. I had to take a little bit from everybody and then get to the point to realize these are all things that built me up and gave me wisdom to learn what I needed to know. But, yo, we've had Eminem. Chad, we don't need another Eminem. You're not trying to hear another Eminem. What you going to say? That's a wannabe. I had to go through the phase where I only listened to Eminem and I looked up to Eminem. So on the book of Chad, there's a lot of me sounding like M. You understand? Because that's all I listened to. But I had to realize that that's okay. Don't beat yourself up for it. The album did really well. You know why it hasn't blown up to the capabilities of what you can, Chad? Because you're not happy with being Chad yet. You still got to grow into that. And the day, like I told you, it was kind of like last year, bro, where everything switched for me, where I stopped searching. I hit this maturity level where I stopped searching for things. It's like everything just clicked the way it should have, you know? And something in myself had matured that I don't look for the things I used to look for. I guess it's just growth, bro, going through it. Because if I look back now, how would I get here if I didn't do that?
Yeah.
If I didn't make those mistakes, if I didn't go through learning that that's wrong. How do you learn what's right if you don't do what's wrong?
When you say what's right now is coming out this next album, especially, you know, everything you've learned.
I just want to say, like, basically everything, don't get me wrong when I say the songs I've dropped aren't right. It's just maybe I was not in the right place where you can hear this guy's not trying to be anything but himself. It's something special. It's his own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, the Hauler thing was that, the Chad, the Don whole blowing up. But from there, I had a lot of growing to do. I had a lot of experience to gain to become a respected musician where I am today, because you have to prove yourself, bro. How many artists are here today and gone tomorrow? You tell me.
Yeah.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
I can't tell you because I've forgotten them already.
There we go. Exactly that. Yeah. So I'm not one of those, bro. Those fly-by-nights, you know what I mean? I've been here. People know who I am. They will still know who I am, the ones who don't, you know? I mean, hopefully if they're watching right now, you're going to go check out my videos. And it's funny how when people do hear it, they're like, what? I know this song. There's so many people.
Bro, that's why I was so appreciative of you coming on, because I just reached out to you. I was like, you know, this guy's probably going to say no, it might be too busy, whatever. And then you said yes. I was actually like, just making sure like this is actually going to happen.
Yeah,
like, it was just, and that just shows it's the nature of who you are. Is,
for sure.
You know, no matter how small the podcast is, no matter, you know, who I am, no matter who you are, no matter my audience, no matter your audience, if you can get your name out there better, why not do it?
Bro, that's what it takes, you know. You're never too good. You know, be humble. Like, how do I know that this could be the next biggest podcast? Which I pray it is for you, bro, because you're a great guy. You got great energy. But I'm saying that, like, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, so who am I to disrespect you and not believe? Because that's what people don't do. They don't believe in you. And those are the people you don't want to keep around you. You know what I'm saying? The people that believe in you, keep those around you. I'm at that point where, like, you say anything negative to me, like, I might never speak to you in your life again. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anything around me that's just not where I'm at. That's why I've got to keep the circle small. Because it's like they don't get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't get it. And unless you're really down for somebody with the best interest in your heart, you won't get it.
Yeah, of
You
course.
don't get people like that today, bro. Everybody wants to be better than the next person. Everybody's looking to make a buck from you. Nobody's there for the real thing anymore. So when you come across something real, cherish it, respect it, and appreciate it. And always stay humble, man.
Oh, of course, bro. And I think, that's also why you need to keep your circle small, because everyone's looking for their ticket. Everyone's looking for something, and they're going to step on top of you, bro.
Of course.
Just to get it.
You think if they didn't have a, let's say for this building, they didn't have a chance. I mean, let's talk about competition. They didn't have a chance to screw you in something, right? To make them more money. Are they going to do it?
Yeah.
Could be a friend, but he might need the $1 million. Somebody who you thought would never do that for you, he's going to give you 500. He'll take 500. No, he'll do the whole $1 million and take it for himself.
And money changes people, bro.
You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, dude, I just want to be around real as I am. You know what I mean? And like, that's not arrogance. That's just like positive vibes. You feel it. You know what I mean? I don't have to like force it to you. I don't have to convince you. I just want what I give. You know what I mean? I want to be around that energy in my life, because if you're not, what's the point, bro? What are you doing to yourself then? You're not respecting yourself, you know? And the day I respected myself and got to this place, everything has changed, you know?
Chad the Don, how did that name come about? Your name's Donovan, your first name.
That's why, Donovan Chad Mansour. So Chad the Don, I basically took the second one.
And it works well because, Donovan and Don being like the greatest, the best.
That's it, So it was naturally there. Like I said to you, no force, just free flowing came to me, and that's it. Also, Anati played a role in that. We were sitting down doing my whole brand before we made the song. So shout out to him for that too. Yeah.
Bro, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
You're a legend, and we look forward to that new album.
Thank you so much, guys.
I will always